Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome back to Tag Tuesday. This is going to be a week of tags for me. I got behind on my tag doing during all the electioning stuff that I was fretting about and worrying about. So I'll do 3 tags, one today, one tomorrow, one Thursday, giving you guys a break on Friday and video on Saturday. This tag is the Self-Aware Reader tag. It was created by Courtney Ferriter. Channeled by her name, and I was tagged by Courtney. Thank you very much. I was also tagged by Shawn the Book Maniac, who did this video. Oh, there go the dogs. And I appreciate both those tags. And so I wanted to get to this. I'm using my phone to read both the prompts and some notes I have about my answer. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. And now the dogs are going to go crazy. Question number 1. What most draws you into a novel or story and makes you want to keep reading? Is it plot, character, writing style, atmosphere, or something else? To be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that because I don't think my answer is always consistent. I'll tell you what I value the most in a book is character, writing, and atmosphere, probably in that order, but I have a tendency to think that those things are all... loud car going by behind, that those things are all kind of one piece, and so I'm not sure which one of those 3 things it is that draws me in. I would say for some books it's one of those 3 things, but that's probably the best answer I can give. Dogs, it's enough. Question 2. What is a convention or trope that will immediately turn you off in your reading experience with a novel or a story? So I can't really think of any. I was gonna say, and I think this is probably unfair. I was gonna say like the pixie dream girl trope, where there's this kind of unattainable girl or guy who's a little weird, quirky, somewhat troubled, who the main character falls in love with, becomes obsessed with, and can never really have, that kind of thing. I think once or twice in a book, or that trope every once in a while is okay, but I really don't. I think at some point it becomes played, and I think this is a problem I have with at least my perception of YA, that a lot of YA books kind of are kind of focus on that kind of relationship, which I really just don't enjoy reading about. Prompt number 3, what most appeals to you when reading nonfiction and makes you want to keep reading? And I would say that what appeals to me in nonfiction is the author's desire to teach me something, their desire to communicate with me so that I understand what they are trying to say, and that they're not above it, they're not feel like they are aloof from the learning experience, that they're trying to actually teach me something the best way they can. And part of this comes down to another thing that I really value a lot in nonfiction, and that's good, clear writing. It's going to happen the whole video, that communicates clearly with me, and I think that's really then closely related to my answer number 4, because prompt number 4 is what convention or trope in nonfiction, or what's convention, trope, and nonfiction will turn you off the reading experience? And I would say that's an author who's more interested in impressing me than teaching me. An author who's trying to make me see how great they are. Joys of filming a video outside. By the way, if you don't know, there's a park right behind my house. The biggest park in the city where I live is literally over that wall right there, and right there is the junior high school for the town where I live. When we first moved into this house and this house was built, that junior high school wasn't there. There was a nice thick stand of trees, home to all kinds of wildlife. It's not that I begrudge the creation of junior high school, it's just not exactly what I thought would happen when we bought this house to back up to the park. But anyway, getting back then to question number 4, an author is trying to impress me more than they're trying to instruct me, that's more interested in me being impressed with them than with me understanding what exactly it is they're talking about. Prompt number 5, would you say you read more for pleasure or enjoyment? Prompt 5, would you say you read more for pleasure and enjoyment or more to learn and exercise your brain? I really don't see a huge difference between those 2 things. I will say that I don't engage in a whole lot of, just purely, I guess, pleasure reading. I do read mysteries, detective stories, but I don't think there's any reading you do that in some ways doesn't exercise your brain. I know what the question intends, but I'm not sure exactly how to answer it because I think I read both those things. So then prompt number 6, which type of book are you likely to rate more highly and enjoy more overall? Brain candy, that is something you read for pleasure and enjoyment, or books that are brain protein for learning and learning and exercising your brain books? I guess I'm going to go with the learning and exercise your brain books because I read more books like that than I do, I guess, books that be classified as brain candy. Again, I think all reading is essentially both pleasurable and enjoyable, and at the same time exercises your brain. Like for me, for instance, just to go back over all you know, for me, Balzac is just a pleasure. I read it for the pleasure of reading it. It doesn't mean I don't think it also, Zelda, I don't think that means it doesn't also then, you're getting the best angle, work my brain and make me think. So, I know what the question asks, but I'm not sure that I could give a better answer than that. Let's see. Prompt 7. Do you have any sense early on of whether or not the book you're reading will be a 5-star book that you'll really like? And has a book ever surprised you in this regard? I start off with an impression of a book from the very first page, and that impression changes over the course of reading it. I would say it's fairly rare for me to start off with a negative impression of a book and have it completely rehabilitate itself, but it is common for me to start off with a really positive impression of a book and have that impression go down. As Shawn the Book Maniac will tell you, since he loves to do these 112-page kind of things where he reads page 112 to see if he likes it, the beginning of the book is usually the strongest. It's the part I think that authors naturally spend the most time working on, and so it's likely to be the most polished. So oftentimes my impression changes while I'm reading the book, but usually for the worse and not for the better. Not always true, but usually. Prompt 8, considering books that you've rated 5 stars in the past, or if you don't rate them, books you really love, do you think you would feel the same way about them now? Why or why not? I think for the most part I would feel the same. But I did reread 2 Cormac McCarthy novels, All the Pretty Horses and The Crossing, as a part of kind of reevaluating my impression of those books this year. And one of them I thought held up, and one of them really didn't. I'm not sure that if I was a star rater, it would make more than a half a star worth of difference. But I do see that happening, and not to bring Hemingway up every time, I do want to go back and reread some Hemingway next year and see if my evaluation of him has changed. It's a little bit fearful for me because, as I pointed out, Hemingway was really important in kind of getting me into reading and making me a reader, but I think I can handle it, so I'll probably do that next year. And then prompt number 9 is to tag people, so I'm going to tag Margaret Pinard, Lukash from A Cruel Reader's Thesis, Matthew from Mayberry's Book Club, Ross from Scallydangling About the Books, but I'm pretty sure that Shawn tagged you too. I want to tag Mark Nash, because he tagged me to do a tag not long ago, and for the same reason, Una and Crypto over at the Codex Cantina. I want to give you a tag. If you want to do this tag, I think it's really great, and I think Courtney did a good job of creating a tag which makes you think about your reading habits. Anyway, I'm going to tag all those people. I'll leave links to their channels down below, as well as to Courtney and to Shawn's videos. Again, thank you for tagging me. Look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.